What if the single most effective action to draw your ex back is the one thing you're absolutely terrified to do? That's right. I want to challenge everything you think you know about winning someone back. Most people, when a relationship ends, operate from a place of pure panic. The texts, the calls, the social media surveillance, that frantic energy doesn't draw anyone closer. It pushes them into the distance. But what if you could reverse the entire dynamic? What if, instead of you doing the chasing, you became the one who was pursued? The secret doesn't involve a single message. It requires a complete internal revolution. You must understand this foundational truth. Genuine attraction cannot be forced or negotiated. It's a magnetic pull, created not by your pleas, but by your presence. And that magnetic force is activated the moment you make the most courageous choice to let go. When you stop clinging, stop waiting in the shadows of their life, and instead turn your focus fully onto yourself. That is when the alchemy begins. Your former partner didn't walk away over a single incident. They left because, in their perception, something essential was missing from the equation. Here is your opportunity. You have the power to change that narrative, not by convincing them with words, but by transforming into a person so compelling they can't help but look twice. People don't experience regret over losing someone who remains static. Regret ignites when they witness that person evolving, glowing, and thriving, completely independent of them. So the one strategy that brings the overwhelming majority back isn't clever manipulation. It's massive, undeniable self-revolution. First, you must master your internal landscape. In the aftermath of a split, most are hijacked by their emotions. Pain, loneliness, and nostalgia dictate every move, but high-value individuals operate differently. They command their emotions. They are not commanded by them. Your goal is to be seen not as the person who lost them, but as the valuable prize they themselves lost. The instant your mindset shifts from "I need them back" to "I am the reward," the entire game transforms. If you carry yourself as though your ex is the sole source of love left on the planet, you surrender all your power. But when you begin living from a place of undeniable self-worth, you become magnetically attractive. Upgrade every facet of your existence: your physical health, your emotional resilience, your professional standing. That's when the questions begin to form in their mind. Did I make a catastrophic error? That's when the chase is initiated. People are not drawn to what is perpetually available and eager. They are captivated by what is rare, valuable, and seemingly just out of reach. If you're constantly awaiting their text, always ready to drop everything, endlessly monitoring their digital life, you create zero urgency for their return. But when you become scarce, when you are visibly immersed in your own best life, building new connections, and pursuing a meaningful mission, their psyche enters a state of turmoil. Are they moving on? Are they happier without me? This is the fertile ground where longing grows. Ultimately, the most irresistible thing in this world is a human being on a mission. Your ex won't return because you ask them to. They will return when they face the terrifying possibility that they let someone truly extraordinary slip away. So stop making them the sun in your solar system. Become your own center of gravity. Build your body, fortify your mind, advance your career, cultivate your independent joy. Do this, and they won't just return, they will pursue you with renewed fervor. You don't win someone back by debate. You win them back by becoming a person they cannot fathom living without. So I ask you, will you remain as you are, or will you step into the formidable power that has always been yours? Because the moment you do, they will sense the shift in the universe. And when they do, the chase will be on. Let's examine this further. When a connection breaks, the immediate human reflex is to grasp tighter. The calls, the texts, the reminiscing about better days, all driven by the hope that logic or emotion can reverse their decision. This is where nearly everyone misunderstands the mechanics of attraction. Attraction doesn't respond to force, it responds to energy. And the energy of desperation, it's a universal repellent. Think about it. Have you ever been pursued with such intensity that it actually diminished your interest? The pursuer wasn't inherently flawed, but their palpable neediness removed all challenge, all intrigue. This is precisely what unfolds when you chase an ex. The harder you try to hold on, the more forcefully they pull away. Why? Because at a fundamental level, people recoil from feeling trapped. They are drawn toward what feels freely given and inherently valuable. Releasing your grip is the most counterintuitive yet potent move you can make, because when you stop attempting to control the outcome, you start gaining mastery over yourself. And that single shift changes the entire field of play. Attraction thrives on mystery, on unpredictability, on emotional sovereignty. When you are constantly present in their digital space, posting veiled sorrow, making your struggle without them painfully obvious, you erase all mystery. You confirm their deepest suspicion, that leaving was the correct choice. But when you vanish, when you withdraw your energy and attention and reinvest it wholly into your own life's blueprint, you create a vacuum, and in that vacuum, something potent germinates, their curiosity. Human psychology is wired to want what it perceives it cannot have or might lose. The moment someone suspects they may have lost something of value, their mind begins a relentless audit. This is why the most powerful communications often happen in total silence. When you cease texting, they register your absence. When they no longer see you observing their stories, they wonder about your activities. When mutual friends mention you're thriving, not just surviving, they start to question their own judgment. But none of this transpires if you're perpetually in their orbit, trying to remind them of a past version of us. You must let them feel the reality of a life that does not include you. More critically, you must let yourself experience what your life can become without them. Here's the raw truth. You don't just need them to miss you, you need to rediscover who you are, independent of we. Letting go isn't an act of ceasing to care. It is the ultimate act of self-respect, walking away from any situation that does not honor your worth. It means comprehending that real attraction isn't about clinging to another person, but about cultivating such a robust sense of self that they feel irresistibly pulled back into your gravity. Imagine this shift. Imagine your focus detaching completely from them and re-anchoring in you. You wake each day with a purpose that extends far beyond repairing a fractured bond. You train your body, you build your empire, you engage with new circles and authentically savor your existence. What transpires then? You are no longer the person they chose to leave. You have evolved. And when they witness that evolution, when they see you have not only let go but have also leaped forward, they begin to feel something unexpected, the sting of regret. Here lies the great paradox. When you no longer need someone, that is often when they start to need you. When you release the attachment, you reclaim your power. And when you are living a full, vibrant life absent of them, they will feel the dissonance. This power of release is authentic. It's not a manipulative tactic. It's the profound understanding that the strongest force in attraction isn't trying to prove your value. It's knowing your value so deeply that your actions become an undeniable testament to it. Embody that knowing, and everything changes. Most believe reconciliation is about crafting the perfect message or orchestrating the ideal encounter. But words are meaningless if your actions tell a contradictory story. If you want someone to perceive you differently, you must become different. This is where self-transformation takes the helm. A breakup rarely occurs in a vacuum. Something in the dynamic shifted. Perhaps growth stagnated. Perhaps the energy dimmed. Whatever the reason, the person they decided to walk away from is not the person they would choose to return to. The pivotal insight is this: you are not sentenced to remain that version of yourself. You hold the power to change, to upgrade, to become someone they cannot ignore. Self-revolution isn't about constructing a false persona. It's about leveling up authentically across every domain of your life. It's about standing before the mirror and asking the brutal, liberating questions. What have I neglected? My physical vessel, my deepest passions, my sense of purpose? Or have I been merely drifting? When you answer with honesty, you realize this ending isn't just about them. It's a wake-up call concerning you. The first step is transferring your obsessive focus from their life back to yours. Instead of dissecting their every move, invest that energy in your own. Forge the strongest version of your physical self, not for their eyes, but because confidence radiates from within. Pursue what sets your soul on fire because passion is inherently attractive. Develop skills, expand your career, widen your social sphere. The more multidimensional you become, the more naturally appealing you are. When you transform, people notice. Your energy vibrates at a new frequency. Your presence carries a different weight. You enter spaces with a quiet purpose, and the way the world responds to you shifts, including your ex. The truth is, people don't miss the past. They miss the feeling the past provided. When they see you embodying strength, happiness, and fulfillment, they feel a pull, not because you orchestrated it, but because it is an undeniable reality. And here is the most empowering part. By the time they start to notice, you may find you no longer desire their return. In the process of your ascension, you realize the version of you that was anchored in the past, seeking external validation, was actually holding you captive. You've crossed into a new reality where your worth is self-validated, and the profound irony, that is precisely when they begin the pursuit. Self-transformation is about becoming so rooted in your own identity that you never need to campaign for someone's affection. It's knowing your value is intrinsic, dictated by your own growth, not another's opinion. Embrace this, and you don't just potentially regain an ex, you reclaim your sovereignty. And once that is yours, everything else aligns. After a separation, emotions swing wildly. Anger, sadness, nostalgic yearning. This roller coaster is normal, but your response to it determines everything. Most react from impulse, lengthy emotional texts, late-night calls, digital detective work. These actions don't beckon anyone back. They cement the image of desperation. Emotional mastery is the chasm between being perceived as needy versus being seen as desirable. The moment you let fleeting feelings dictate your behavior, you hand your power away. Nothing is less attractive than the appearance of instability or need. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean burying them. It means processing them in a manner that serves your growth, not your self-sabotage. When the urge strikes to react, to send that text, to stalk that profile, to seek closure, you must pause. Ask yourself, is this action moving me forward or chaining me to the past? The answer is almost always clear. Impulsive action rarely builds a better future, it perpetuates a painful past. The key is to redirect that turbulent emotional energy into something constructive. Channel the urge to text into a workout. Transform replaying memories into learning a new skill. Swap seeking comfort in their words for discovering strength in your own. This is how you break the cycle of emotional dependency. You stop being a reactor to life's events and become the author of your response. One of the most powerful states you can achieve is becoming unshakable. Imagine an encounter with your ex where you are composed, confident, and entirely unaffected by old bitterness or sadness. That calm, assured energy is rare, and it is magnetic. When they observe you not drowning in emotion but thriving despite it, they begin to doubt their own assessments. Emotional control also brings clarity. Unchecked feelings cloud judgment, making you believe your happiness was dependent on them. When you step back and master your inner world, you see the situation with stark objectivity. You discern what worked, what failed, and most importantly, what within you requires evolution to become your best self. That transformation doesn't just benefit you, it recalibrates the entire dynamic. When someone sees you are no longer emotionally tethered to them, they start to question everything. They wonder at your strength, your focus, your self-command. And that curiosity, that budding admiration, is the very force that can draw them back. In the end, emotional mastery is about choosing power over powerlessness. It's understanding that while you can't control every event, you can always govern your response. Master this, and you become profoundly attractive, not only to others, but to the most important person, your future self. Most fail to realize that self-perception dictates how the world perceives you. Post-breakup, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-doubt, questioning your adequacy. But here's the raw truth. If you don't believe in your own worth, no one else will, including your ex. This is why cultivating a high-value mindset is non-negotiable. This mindset isn't arrogance. It's the genuine, internalized understanding that you are a person of inherent worth, with or without a partner. Too often people pedestalize their ex, acting as if they've lost the pinnacle of human connection. That energy of lack and neediness is a powerful repellent. Instead, the key is to become someone who doesn't just intellectually know their value, but whose entire life reflects it. With a high-value mindset, you cease chasing. You stop seeking external validation. You stop making your happiness contingent on another's approval. You shift focus from what you lost to what you bring to the table. And when you do, something remarkable occurs. The world takes note. Your energy shifts. You carry yourself with a new grace. You become naturally attractive, not from effort, but because confidence and self-respect are fundamentally magnetic. Who do people admire? Who do they gravitate toward? It's not the person pleading for attention. It's the individual who is secure, self-assured, who commands respect by simply being. That is high value. Developing this mindset means establishing boundaries and refusing to accept less than you deserve. It means not tolerating disrespect, not settling for crumbs of attention, not waiting indefinitely for someone who fails to recognize your worth. When you begin to respect yourself at this depth, others, including your ex, begin to mirror that respect back to you. One of the most significant shifts happens when you stop viewing your ex as the ultimate prize and start seeing yourself as the prize. Instead of how do I get them back, you ask, do they even deserve me at my best? This change in perspective alters the entire dynamic. When you believe you are valuable, others start to believe it too. Another pillar of the high-value mindset is abundance. People operating from this place don't live in fear of scarcity. They don't think, I'll never find love like this again. They understand life is overflowing with possibilities, connections, and experiences. When you embody this belief, you naturally become more attractive because you aren't clinging to one person as your sole source of happiness. And here's the beautiful irony. When your ex observes you elevating yourself, when they realize you're no longer the person they left, they begin to second guess. They wonder if they underestimated you. That's when they feel the pull, not from manipulation, but from the undeniable force of your high-value energy. At the core, people are drawn to those who hold themselves in high esteem. When you truly embrace your worth, you don't need to convince anyone to choose you. They will gravitate naturally. And even if your ex doesn't return, you will have become the kind of person who attracts something even more aligned. A critical error people make is shrinking their world after a split. They isolate, replay memories, and dwell on the loss, reinforcing the belief that their joy was tied to that one relationship. But here's the truth. The more you contract your world, the smaller you become. If you want to regain your power and make your ex take notice, you must do the opposite. You need to expand your life exponentially. Expanding means stepping far beyond your comfort zone, diving into new experiences, and building a life that thrills you. This naturally shifts your energy from lost without them to thriving independently. And that energy is a powerful magnet. Consider, during the relationship, what parts of yourself did you neglect? Your fitness, your friendships, your dreams? Now is the moment to reclaim all of it and more. Redirect your focus from loss to potential gain. Join a new community. Embark on that hobby. Travel. Immerse yourself in passionate work. This makes you more interesting and fulfilled, and it broadcasts a powerful message. You are not waiting for anyone to complete you. Expanding your social circle is crucial. Surround yourself with new positive people. Go out, engage in stimulating conversations, not as a distraction, but because rich connections are fundamental to a full life. When your ex sees you enjoying life, not wallowing, their perception shifts. More importantly, they start to feel like they are the ones missing out. Another powerful expansion tactic is pursuing ambitious goals. Nothing is more attractive than someone driven, passionate, and building a life bigger than themselves. Launch a project, chase a career milestone, create something meaningful. When you are focused on growth, you have no bandwidth to dwell on the past. And ironically, that's often when the past comes knocking. Confidence is built through action. The more you do, the more capable you feel, and the more naturally attractive you become. Your ex won't be drawn back to someone stuck in sorrow, but they will be intrigued by someone evolving, expanding, and embracing life fully. People are fundamentally attracted to strength, resilience, and purpose. The beauty of expansion is that it positions you where you no longer need your ex to return. By the time they notice your metamorphosis, you may not even want them anymore. That is true power. You've grown so much that their presence becomes an option, not a necessity. Ultimately, the best way to make someone regret leaving is to live a life so full, exciting, and fulfilling that they can't help but wonder why they ever let you go. Reach that point and you'll realize you never needed them to begin with. One of the most potent yet overlooked strategies is mastering unpredictability. Post-breakup, most people become painfully predictable. The sad texts, the emotional posts, the attempts to rekindle, this predictability makes you easy to ignore. But when you introduce the element of surprise, everything changes. Human nature craves mystery and excitement. We are drawn to the unexpected. This is why relationships often lose their spark. Predictability dulls attraction. The same principle applies after a split. If your ex believes they have you completely figured out, they feel no need to reconsider. But when you break the pattern, when you start doing things they never anticipated, you spark their curiosity, and that curiosity is a formidable force. The first step to unpredictability is breaking old reactive habits. If you were always the first to reach out, stop. If you were a constant presence on their social media, disappear. If they expect you to be struggling, shock them by thriving. Your absence creates a mental gap for them, and in that gap, questions bloom. Why aren't they chasing? Are they moving on? Have they found someone new? Unpredictability also means changing your life in ways they never foresaw. Maybe you were once risk-averse. Now you take bold leaps. You change your style, travel solo, achieve a goal they thought was beyond you, become someone they barely recognize in the most impressive way. This forces them to question if they made a mistake. Social proof, when authentic, is highly effective. This isn't about blatant jealousy baiting, which appears desperate. It's about naturally showcasing a life rich with great people and exciting experiences. When your ex sees you happy, confident, and surrounded by a vibrant world, it shatters their expectations. They thought you'd be lost. Instead, you're flourishing. Another key is emotional detachment from the outcome. When you no longer react as they predict, you seize control of the dynamic. If they reach out and you respond with cool, confident indifference, free of emotional baggage, they feel the difference profoundly. If they test you, expecting old patterns, and you remain unfazed, they begin to question everything. This is where the magic happens. When they don't know where they stand with you, they start seeking validation. They look for signs you still care. The more they wonder, the more they begin to chase, because now the power has completely flipped. You are in command. Becoming unpredictable isn't about manipulative games. It's about refusing to be confined to a box. It's about evolving into a version of yourself that is constantly growing, surprising, and moving forward. Do this, and your ex won't just notice, they'll feel the seismic shift. And more often than not, they'll come running back trying to understand how they let someone like you slip away. The power to make an ex pursue you doesn't reside in desperation or counter-chasing. It resides within you, in your capacity to grow, evolve, and live your highest life irrespective of them. By releasing your grip, mastering your inner world, adopting a high-value mindset, expanding your reality, and becoming gloriously unpredictable, you don't just shift the power dynamic, you become a magnet for those who recognize true worth. And the ultimate irony is this: once you reach that summit, you may find you no longer need or want their return. You've become someone who doesn't just survive a breakup, but who thrives magnificently beyond it, strong, confident, and utterly irresistible. If this message resonated with you and you want more insights to empower your journey, please support this channel by hitting the like button and subscribing to Winds of Thought. Your growth is our mission.